This changes everything we thought we knew. What people expected was simple, perhaps a chest of coins or a trove of ancient jewels, but what appeared instead defied every assumption. As the crawler advanced, it exposed an intricate network of machinery, enormous iron cogs meshed with wooden pulleys. Resin-sealed pressure systems sat perfectly preserved. The craftsmanship appeared centuries ahead of its time, far too sophisticated for the 14th century. Pipes extended from the walls with no obvious purpose. Levers and counterweights stood like silent sentinels guarding something profound. At the center, a subtle radiance flickered, not electrical, but chemical, almost alchemical. As though designed to survive the passage of ages, the team could barely move. This wasn't merely a treasure room, it was a vault of mechanisms, a colossal device built either to protect something or to power something. Speculation erupted instantly. Were the Knights Templar concealing gold, or had they constructed something much more significant? Something intentionally hidden from history itself? There was no turning back. With visible hesitation, a lever was pulled. The counterweight slammed against stone, echoing through the cavern. A deep rumble followed, and another passage slowly opened. This time the sight was overwhelming. Wooden crates bound in iron and sealed in wax were forced open, their contents spilling onto the stone floor in a glittering torrent. Gold bars stacked with geometric perfection shimmered beneath the floodlights. Coins cascaded in waves, Byzantine, Moorish, Spanish, each stamped with the legacy of vanished empires. Gem-laden chalices tumbled free, emeralds flashing under the cameras. Crosses of solid gold and sapphire-studded crowns lay scattered in brilliant disorder. Experts at the site, voices shaking through their microphones, estimated the visible treasure alone at no less than $250 million, and that appeared to be only the uppermost layer of what lay beneath. Yet even amid the staggering wealth, something began to feel unsettling. Observers noticed details that didn't quite fit, and the deeper they looked, the more the mystery intensified. Several of the gold bars carried symbols, cryptic sigils never catalogued by any royal mint or treasury. They weren't decorative stamps. They looked intentional, systematic, almost like identifiers in a coded network. The realization sent a chill through the crew. This gold might not have been meant for spending at all. It may have been part of something structured, an encrypted archive forged in metal. As cameras swept across the blinding wealth, a strange tension settled over the site. The discovery didn't feel like a conclusion. It felt staged, like a glittering distraction carefully arranged to draw attention, while something infinitely more significant waited in the shadows. And that's when someone noticed them. Behind the towering stacks of treasure, partially obscured as if deliberately hidden, sat rows of iron strongboxes. They were aligned with almost military exactness, half buried behind the wall of gold. It was as though the fortune had been placed there to conceal what truly mattered. When the first lid was forced open, the ancient seal cracking after centuries of silence, the atmosphere changed instantly. Inside were bundles wrapped in oil-treated skins, astonishingly dry, perfectly preserved. It was clear whoever sealed them understood exactly how to defy time. Hands shook as the team carefully unrolled the manuscripts under harsh white floodlights. Aramaic text flowed across one parchment from edge to edge, references to gospels never acknowledged by any established church. Latin prayers intertwined with intricate diagrams, winged mechanisms, fortified towers with rotating defenses, designs that predated their supposed invention by centuries. On another page, Greek inscriptions mapped star alignments alongside encoded calculations too complex to interpret on the spot. Then everything went still. From a smaller chest, an iron clasp snapped open. A single codex slid forward. Its binding was cracked with age, but a deep red wax seal remained vivid. Scholars recognized the insignia instantly, the papal seal of Clement V, the pope who officially disbanded the Knights Templar under pressure from the French crown. The implications were explosive. Why would the seal of the very man tied to the Templars' downfall appear in a hidden chamber in Nova Scotia? Could this codex prove secret cooperation? Had Clement preserved writings that were meant to be erased forever? Experts on site could barely steady their voices as they spoke into live microphones. This wasn't just buried treasure. This was suppressed history, knowledge capable of shaking centuries of religious authority, perhaps even rewriting the foundation of Western civilization. But the shockwaves didn't stop with the documents. As cataloging began, strange disturbances rippled across Oak Island. Instruments positioned above ground malfunctioned without warning. Seismographs registered low-frequency vibrations that didn't resemble natural geological activity. Compasses spun wildly, refusing to settle on north. One technician monitoring deep bedrock resonance reported something even stranger, a rhythmic pulse traveling beneath the island. Slow, measured, almost mechanical, as if the chamber itself were humming like a colossal tuning fork. Inside the vault, unease grew palpable. Several crew members insisted they heard faint chanting carried through the stone. Not radio chatter, not echoes. Something deeper, ancient, just beyond clear hearing. Some thought the cadence resembled Old French. Others insisted it sounded Latin, but nearly all agreed on one unsettling detail. It didn't feel like a memory of the past. It felt present. Marty suggested equipment interference, static bouncing unpredictably through the cavern. A technical glitch. Rick, however, stood motionless, pale, and listening with intense concentration. When he finally spoke, his words were barely above a whisper. This isn't interference. He believed the chamber had been engineered not only as storage, but as a resonant structure. One designed to activate warnings, perhaps even defenses when disturbed. Suddenly, the so-called curse of Oak Island didn't feel like superstition. It felt constructed. A deterrent system created by minds that mastered stone, vibration, and acoustics in ways modern science is only beginning to understand. And then, as if the island itself weren't enough, a new threat appeared beyond the shoreline. Under the thin glow of moonlight, unfamiliar shapes materialized on the horizon. Unmarked vessels drifted silently offshore, their navigation lights dark. Drones captured shadowed figures observing the excavation through night vision optics. At the same time, the Lagina brothers' phones lit up. Alerts, encrypted messages, leaked images, fragments of classified-looking documents from unknown senders. Whatever had been uncovered beneath Oak Island, others clearly knew about it, and they were already watching. Whispers spoke of a secretive order, a lineage of watchers who had guarded Oak Island for centuries. No longer legend, their presence was undeniable. One message in particular sent shivers through the camp. A coded transmission slipped directly into the expedition's communication feed. Later, a paper copy appeared mysteriously in Rick's hands. The translation was chilling in its brevity. You have opened what was never yours to touch. Every nerve on the team stood on end. This was no request, no invitation to negotiate. It was a warning. The treasure had never been meant for plunder. Every ounce of gold, every manuscript, every relic had been entrusted to bloodlines who had carried the duty for generations. From the fringes of the excavation, shadows lingered. Men without insignias or uniforms watched silently, unmoving, yet radiating intent. This treasure was not free. It was bound to an oath sworn centuries ago, an oath that recognized neither governments, laws, nor cameras. With the seal broken, the true battle for Oak Island had only begun. The implications reached far beyond the island. Within days, the Vatican could no longer remain silent. Leaks, photographs, transcripts, fragments of the manuscripts forced scholars in Rome to acknowledge what they had long cataloged in secret. Hidden inventories and locked archives had quietly preserved descriptions of texts, chalices, and reliquaries linked to the Templars. The shock wasn't in the discovery itself, but in the exposure. Objects buried beneath Nova Scotia matched papal records with eerie precision. Chalices seized during the Crusades, reliquaries containing unknown saints, manuscripts sealed during the Templar purges.